Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're talking about the growing conflict in the Middle East, a situation that's getting more and more serious. Let's break it down simply so you can understand what's happening and why it matters to all of us. Iran has stepped up its action in the Gulf, going after transportation routes and civilian infrastructure. Reports say commercial ships were struck and even Dubai's international airport was targeted. At the same time, the United States and Israel have launched new air operations against Iran, marking another wave in this escalating tension. Iranian officials are standing firm, saying they're ready for a long war of endurance, warning if things continue, the global energy supply could be disrupted, and that might mean higher prices worldwide. Across the region, the conflict has spread. Israel says it's targeting Hezbollah sites in Lebanon. In return, missiles from Iran and Hezbollah have been launched towards Israel. The United Nations says 760,000 people in Lebanon have had to leave their homes, and over 90,000 have crossed over to Syria for safety. In the Gulf, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia reported intercepting multiple Iranian drones headed towards their territories, including sensitive oil areas. In Iran, large crowds have gathered together to pay their respects to senior commanders who have lost their lives from airstrikes earlier in the conflict. Iran's ambassador to Cyprus said Iran's new leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, was injured and is being treated at the hospital following reports that his father, the late supreme leader, had passed during earlier strikes. Despite growing pressure, the U.S. and Israeli officials say that their joint operations will continue. President 47 made mixed comments, first calling the war a short-term issue, then later saying the campaign has not achieved enough. Leaders from the major global economies, the G7, also met to discuss how to handle the rising oil prices. Trump later said that their decision was having a tremendous impact, though his exact meaning wasn't clear. The International Energy Agency announced plans to release 400 million barrels of oil to help balance prices, but global shipping routes remain unsafe, especially near the vital StraitOfHormuz, where nearly one-fifth of the world's oil passes through. Officials say 3 or more merchant ships were hit in the Gulf, bringing the total affected to 14 since the conflict began. Iran's Revolutionary Guard announced that it would not allow any oil ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz until the U.S. stops its strikes. Iranian commanders warned that oil can reach $200 a barrel if the strikes continue. Their forces also claimed operations against military sites in Israel and U.S. bases in neighboring countries like Kuwait and Bahrain. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the goal is to stop Iran's regional influence and dismantle its nuclear program, urging Iranian citizens to stand up to their government. Meanwhile, Iran's security forces said any protests at home will be treated as acts of opposition. Iran accused the U.S. and Israel of damaging a medical support boat in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. military officials have responded by saying their strikes have reduced Iran's missiles and drone launches dramatically. The U.S. also confirmed that it's using advanced AI tools to quickly analyze battlefield data, but the decisions are still made by humans, they emphasized. In Israel, air defense sirens and explosions were heard as missiles were intercepted before dawn. Reports say hundreds of people have been injured in an ongoing attack from both sides. Israel also launched strikes in Beirut, targeting areas connected to Hezbollah. Lebanon's health ministry says hundreds have lost their lives, including women, children, and health workers. The Iranian ambassador to UN reported that more than 1,300 Iranian civilians have lost their lives. since the U.S. and Israeli air operations began in late February. Washington says several American soldiers have been affected, with 7 being unalived and a number of injured in the ongoing operation. The situation in the Gulf and the Middle East remains tense. World leaders are under pressure to find a solution before this conflict disrupts not just the region, but the global economy too. How worried are you that this conflict can send oil prices way up? Please like, subscribe, and share. This will allow my channel to grow. Please come back for more updates on what's happening in the world, and thank you for watching, and stay safe.